Chapter 548. Just when Lord Adair had already made up his mind, Paisal suddenly asked, "Brother Adair, where are you feeling unwell today?" Lord Adair put his thoughts away before he looked at Paisal and said, "Brother Billy, just take a look at me now. My body and health are worsening day by day. Since it is autumn and the weather is getting a little colder, I have recently caught a cold because I did not pay too much attention to my own health. This is the reason why I decided to come and ask you to prescribe some medicine for me today." Paisal hurriedly replied, "Let me check your pulse for you first to see what is wrong with your body." Lord Adair nodded before he stretched out his hand. Paisal placed his finger on Lord Adair's wrist as he checked his pulse and looked at Lord Adair's other conditions. After that, he heaved a sigh of relief when he discovered that the latter was only infected with a cold. "It is just the chills and a slight cold. I will prescribe some medicine for you. You can take these medicinal herbs home and decoct them before taking the medicine. You will definitely feel better in 2 to 3 days." "Thank you, Brother Billy." Lord Adair nodded slightly before he seemed to suddenly recall something. After that, he turned around as he said, "By the way, there is something else that I wanted to tell you." Lord Adair paused for a moment before he said, "I will be hosting my 80th birthday banquet in 2 days. Since we are brothers who have already known each other for such a long time, you have to come to my banquet." As he spoke, Lord Adair handed a silver invitation card over to Paisal. Paisal took the invitation card in his hand before he promised, "Don't worry, Brother Adair. I will definitely be there on time." After that, Paisal hurriedly packed the medicine for Lord Adair and gave it to him. Then, Paisal personally sent him to the door and walked him to his car. As Lord Adair was returning to the Adair family mansion, Fury and Edward had just sent Kataa to the airport. To prevent him from wanting to have an extra meal on the plane, the nurses guarding him waited for him to finish his extra meal before they sent him up on the plane. Kataa regained his consciousness and could smell the foul stench emitting from his mouth at this time. Kataa looked at his father with pain in his eyes as he choked and said, "Dad, there must be someone who is out to harm me. You have to find out who is this beast who did this to me. You have to avenge me." Fury nodded before he said solemnly, "Don't worry, Kataa. I will find out the identity of the culprit who is trying to hurt you. I will make sure that he dies and suffers a fate worse than death for treating you like this." After that, Fury said once again, "After you go home, make sure you stay at home and take good care of yourself. Do not go out in public. I will look for a world-renowned doctor to treat you. I will make sure we cure you of your illness." Kataa choked as he nodded again and again before getting on the plane reluctantly. Finally, the Whale family's private jet took off from the Oris airport. Fury and Edward stood in place as they watched the plane depart and disappear into the sky. After that, Fury turned around and said to Edward, "Come, let's go to the Adair family mansion now. We will propose a marriage between you and Faria today." Edward replied excitedly, "Great, Dad. We should decide on this matter sooner rather than later. We have to finalize it as soon as possible." After he was done speaking, Edward nervously asked his father, "Dad, do you think the Adair family will turn down our marriage proposal?" Fury laughed before he replied confidently, "You are the eldest son of the Whale family. Do you know how many girls from so many wealthy and powerful families are waiting in line for you to pick them? Even though Faria is indeed very beautiful and attractive, the Whale family is much wealthier and more powerful compared to the Adair family. Lord Adair will certainly be very excited and anxious to marry Faria to you." Really, Edward was very happy. "So, you mean to say that the Adair family will definitely agree with this marriage proposal?" Fury smiled indifferently before he said confidently, "Son, in the South region, which woman will not want to marry you? The Adair family is fortunate that you have taken an interest in Faria and would like to marry her. No matter what it is, in the final analysis, it is the Adair family's good fortune to be able to marry Faria to you." After that, Fury said arrogantly, Do you believe me if I say that as soon as I bring up this matter to the Adair family, Lord Adair will absolutely agree to it immediately? Edward smiled brightly before he said, "All right, then. Dad, let's go to the Adair family mansion now." Fury smiled slightly before he said, "You are the eldest son and the eldest grandson of the Whale family. Why does it seem as though you have no backbone or prospects at all when it comes to Faria?" After that, Fury reminded Edward, "When we arrive at the Adair family mansion later, you should assume a high and mighty attitude. You should let the Adair family know that it is their good fortune if Faria is given the opportunity to marry you. Do you understand?" "I understand."